Okay guys, so now we're going to talk about counterexamples. And a counterexample is just something that negates the statement, that says that the conjecture that you've made is false. So you just want to find something that means that the statement is false and shows it. So, for example here, we're going to determine whether each conjecture is true or false, and we're going to give a counterexample for any false conjecture. Okay? So, Anna has never seen it snow in Texas. Her conjecture is that it never snows in Texas. Now, is that true or false? That's false. Okay? The counterexample would be, it snowed last year in Texas. So this is my counterexample. It snowed last year in Texas. Okay? Pretty easy. Alright, number 2. Complete the pattern 3, 5, 7, 9, 11. Give a counterexample showing that the last two numbers are false. Okay? So right now there is a pattern here, plus 2 each time. But what if the answer to this question was not 9 and 11? Because really, 3 and 5 and 7 are all a special type of number. They're considered prime numbers. So the counterexample would be that this 3, 5, 7, and then if I said 11 and then 13, that's my counterexample. It's still following the same pattern. I'm still counting by prime numbers. And so that would have been my pattern this time. So that's my counterexample. Okay? Alright. Number 3. It says, if angle ABC and angle CBD form a linear pair. Remember what a linear pair is again? A linear pair is when those two angles make a straight line. And it says, if the two angles make a straight line, then angle ABC is congruent to angle CBD. Is it true that every linear pair has two congruent angles? No, that's false. So this statement is false. And in order to show that it's false, we have to say an example where it is false. So a linear pair means that we make a straight line, and we have a ray that comes out in the middle. So this is a linear pair, but angle ABC and angle CBD, whoops, I didn't mark it right. My bad, this should be a C. It's ABC and angle CBD, like that. So angle ABC and angle CBD are not congruent. So that's my counterexample. So remember, all you have to do is to be able to draw a picture showing or tell me a sentence stating why my counterexample is wrong. Why my conjecture is wrong. This is a counterexample. Alright, look at number 4. It says, if AB, BC, and AC are all congruent, then A, B, and C are collinear. Is this true or is this false? What I recommend you do is you draw a picture. Okay, so pause the video and draw your picture now. Okay, so I'm going to draw AB, and then how can I draw BC? Well, AB and BC are congruent, right? Well, I could draw AB this way and then BC this way, and then they would be congruent but not necessarily collinear. Okay? And then here's AC. If I draw the line this way, I can pretend that all three of those are congruent. So they're congruent, but they're not necessarily collinear. Okay? So that's my counterexample showing that AB, BC, and AC are congruent, but they're not collinear. Alright, number 5. If AB plus BC equals to AC, then AB has to be equal to BC. Is that true or false? Okay, this is false. Okay, so we have to think about this one. If I have AB and BC, they're going to make AC, right? So I can draw my line where I have AC and I've got B in the middle. So if I drew my line like this, does AB plus BC equal AC? Yes, but does AB equal BC. Does AB equal BC? No. And so that's my counterexample. Okay? Last up, number 6. If angle 1 is complementary to angle 2, and angle 1 is complementary to angle 3, then angle 2 and angle 3 are congruent. Okay? So, what does complementary mean again? Complementary means 90 degrees. So these two angles have to add up to 90 degrees. Okay? So, if 1 and 2, if I add them together to get 90, and I have 1 and 3 and add them together to get 90, then does angle 2 have to be congruent to angle 3? Well, let's draw a picture and see. So we'll make them adjacent. So here's 90 degrees. Okay, here's angle 1 and angle 2. And then here we go with our same thing, angle 1 and angle 1 and angle 3, right? Did angle 1's size change? No, angle 1 is exactly the same size in both pictures. So in order for them to add to be 90 degrees, angle 2 has to be congruent to angle 3. So this one is actually a true statement. Okay? Alright, so those are your notes for today. Please go ahead and grab the paper on examples and counterexamples and work through that. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.